Whenever you're ready.
Hello and welcome to Passing Notes, sharing music across generations. My name is Mark, along with my son Jack and friend Cale. And our special guest this week is my friend Woody. Woody, welcome to the
Hello,
pod.
everybody.
Yes.
Hello.
This week, Woody's choice is the Babies album Anthology,
Yes.
not to be confused with the later, what was this, 1981, this came out, not to be confused with the 2000 version that claims to be deluxe and is really
it is
simply a
not. That's
ripoff.
right.
It's a lot of horrible songs added to that disc. So there was confusion. Just a little backstory on this pod. Stupidly, if you just rely on Spotify, you'll be duped many times, as were a couple of us, and we listened to the deluxe version of this album. 17 songs. The
I
original.
didn't.
No,
So-
no. Good job. The original had 10 songs. The deluxe 2000 version has 17. All the additions are pathetic
Whoa.
attempts.
Okay. Wow.
They're bad.
This is a preview.
I guess.
In fact, when we do a follow-up pod to this that we call the deluxe version,
Don't
and
do
we,
it.
yeah, don't bother. Pass. A hard pass on that one. But real quick, a little backstory on the Babies. They were together only from 1975 to 1981. They featured John Waite as vocalist, who went on to have a solo hit with the song "Missing You" in 1984. That's probably the biggest thing that people know John for.
Yeah.
Then he was part of the band Bad English with Jonathan Cain, who people recognize his name possibly as a member of Journey.
Mhm.
But he was also not an original member, but a brief member of the band The Babies as well.
Mhm.
Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the Babies Anthology. Wood, and I'd like to ask, what was maybe the reason? How did you come to this decision on choosing, of all the albums in the entire world, first time on the pod, going with the Babies
And there are a
Anthology?
lot of them.
There are a lot of them.
Okay.
I know you struggled with the
and
decision.
it was probably the first concert that I remember with Journey and the Babies.
Oh,
1980.
oh.
I was a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought Jonathan Waite had the greatest voice. They had a great show, and I loved the Journeys too. But I actually thought the Babies were better than the Journey.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, after that, it was probably one of my best concerts, and I've been to plenty of them. So
Interestingly,
Yes.
Jonathan Cain had been with the Babies just
Mhm.
not a long time,
no,
but that concert, or at least that tour, probably had something to do with John eventually joining Journey.
and I'm thinking during that concert, Steve Perry came out and said, "Jonathan,
Oh,
what do you want to do after
Hey,
this? Do you
what do you
want
wanna
to
do
play
with your life?"
keyboards for them or for us?"
right.
Jonathan says, "I don't know, man."
I mean, as good as John Waite's voice is,
Steve
he's
Perry's.
no Steve Perry.
Oh,
He's no Steve
This is
Perry.
true.
they're right up there, though.
So he's just riding with
he's
the
just-
best vocalist
yep, why
he can
wouldn't
find.
you?
What a whore.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he made a good choice, I think.
Yeah,
There's no
I
doubt
would
about
say,
it.
yes.
So that was one of the reasons why. So
All right. Anybody else?
I got a question. Were the Babies opening for Journey, or
Yes.
was it kind of okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
So how long had, if you're familiar at all, how long had the Babies been a band, and how long had Journey been a band? Do you know?
I don't. Mark might know that.
Well, the Babies
Just
formed
came out
in 75.
70, yep.
75. Okay.
So, and Journey, boy, their first album was maybe 77.
77.
Okay. Yeah. sounds
My
about
guess,
right.
I think
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Same
Right
time,
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So pretty close.
Yeah.
It's transition. We're going from the 70s, we're going from, kind of the singer-songwriter died out in the 60s, we're going to the 70s, a little bit poppier, and then it goes into the 80s.
Super
where it's
groups.
Super
Yeah.
groups,
Yeah.
right?
What's interesting
Yep.
too is I don't know if I want to give it away now necessarily, but Jonathan Cain was a great addition in terms of songwriting to the
For Journey.
Babies.
Right.
And Journey.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
as he grew as a songwriter, in Journey became a real hit maker.
Yep.
By the time, Journey was at their peak. So
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and before we hop into the album real quick, I don't want Woody to just be a name that brought in an album, so I want to ask like a few more personal questions before we get into the
Oh,
album.
boy.
So like,
Gee.
like how do you know?
Is my wife
so-
listening?
So, obviously my dad.
We've got him hooked up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
If you lie, I know.
yeah.
So obviously, Dad brought you on. I'm curious. I don't even think I know this personally. Like, how did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys
Ooh.
become friends?
We worked at a business that sold lighting and cabinets and a lot of interior stuff, and that's how we met. I don't know if I want to say the name or not, but it doesn't matter. But that's how we kind of met. And before that, I think he owned a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
So we had to go and see him for that. So
There you go.
Yeah.
And lunch came with
yes,
it.
that's right.
Yes.
So we go back a few years.
And we happen to be, we didn't go to high school together or
No,
anything, but
no.
we are exactly same age.
We
I
like the same
graduated in
genre
1980 as well.
of bands, and we like the same.
Yeah. We don't have a meal together without, who sang that?
Yeah, that's right.
Who did that?
We always play this game, and it's usually pretty close.
Yeah. We're very rarely stumped.
Yeah.
Very
So
rarely.
I'm between 71 and 82,
That's a good.
and that's all I got. That's all I got.
Don't ask him anything
Yeah,
outside
no.
of that. Yeah,
So
bad.
Okay, I know my lane. All right, I think I'm good. Okay, cool.
All right, let's begin with track one. It is Head First,
Mhm.
which was also the name of their first album.
Mhm.
Do you have anything to start with at all on that track? What?
Man, I got a lot of them. Let's just go with. Can we go with Head First? The song. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, that's what we are doing.
Oh,
Do you have
that's
any
good.
comments about
No,
it? Oh,
I
okay.
just like them all. So
Okay.
let's just.
Okay.
At the end, I think there's a drum beat that I like. So let's listen,
Oh, okay. You want me to play it?
please.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
That's
Oh,
a good idea.
we don't do that.
Well,
I'll do it. I didn't have it prepared, but you know
Oh,
what?
okay.
I had thought about it, and I just
So
didn't
we'll
do it.
stall for a little bit. The Babies. That's still some great hair.
do we
in this
have
band.
any copyright issues?
I get it out.
Oh, okay.
No big deal. All right, we'll listen, and then we'll hop back in.
Just snippets if we have to. That's
Yeah,
fine.
just a little
Yeah.
bit. Maybe the chorus,
Yeah.
See here if this will play it for me or not.
or we'll just cut this out.
Maybe that.
Feel that weight.
Actually, we'll
Snip.
Just the.
Snip, snip.
Oh God. That's got all this.
For those of you at home, this is definitely a homemade podcast. There's.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, I probably should have shared that tidbit.
Yeah, I just thought we'd come listen to a little bit, make some
sure.
notes about it, and
Yeah.
do it up.
Yeah, that would be a fun way to go.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got it now.
Bose.
Here's Head First.
All right.
Here we go. Isn't that a Blondie song?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Set the lyrics in it. Looks too small. No dice. Oh, it looks like Head First was their third album. Aha.
Oh, Babies, then Broken Heart.
I don't remember Broken Heart at all.
He had a couple
Isn't it time?
distant times, yeah.
Okay,
All right, so
that's probably enough.
yeah,
I've had enough.
I like the rhythm.
Already?
I like the music. I like the whole beat, and I think we know there's an underlying meaning there. So that's
I
what I'm
would
gonna
never
say.
accuse this band of being untight. They've got that tight sound, and I'm in love with their bass player. I love bass players, and just
got
in
a
general.
problem.
And you can really hear it on this speaker, really, just how tight this band really
Yeah.
is, and a great rhythm section. I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, here's a thing.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay.
When you listen to 17 of their songs,
Which you shouldn't have.
right,
But, okay.
right,
Shouldn't
granted,
So that's on you.
Yeah.
it's on me. I'll take that bullet. But listen, you can't unlisten to them. Once you've listened to them, you can't unlisten to them.
Yeah.
And so this one, I have no problem with the music. Sometimes it's pretty formulaic, but the lyrics are a turd.
Yeah.
I mean, they are like third grade level rhyme. I,
Yeah, but you're going in head first, though.
And at that point, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Well,
hey, I'm already in.
Okay,
So.
okay.
They were thinking about the lyrics live.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Well, that makes sense. And now, granted, John Waite makes any lyrics sound pretty good,
Yeah.
but I feel like when John is writing these songs, that the lyrics tend to be simple Simon Metapyman
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay.
That's my comment.
It's not Bob Dylan.
It isn't.
It's
No.
definitely
It's
not.
No, it's definitely not.
Or Carly Simon.
Or Carly Simon.
Yeah,
For
and,
sure.
and the way I listened to it, weirdly enough, because I was also in the same boat where I'd started from the beginning of the deluxe edition, which starts drastically different from the regular version. I came to the first song actually last because then I realized that it was wrong. So at this point, it had this song didn't super impress me much. It was kind of feel like they kind of use like the same guitar beat in like two of the other songs on the album, and I was like, okay, there's not a whole lot going on here. It seems kind
Right.
of like your generic
Oh.
rock song. I mean, it sounds alright. The vocals sound alright. I think that they sound great in the majority of the songs, except like maybe one that had a little stinker on. But
It puts everything in a different perspective.
right, for sure.
From the 17 songs to this. This is an opening track to an album. Is just fine.
I would
Yeah,
agree. I
for
was
sure.
just
It's
about
just
to say
fine
that.
as an
Absolutely.
opening track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
when
that's
it,
also on me.
but when it's the 11th song
Right.
and you go,
God, these all sound the same.
oh,
It's like, yeah.
not the simple Simon lyrics again.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know, do we ever get deeper? You know, so
Yeah.
sadly, I'll try to keep my skewed viewpoint to a
Jaded.
minimum
All
here
right.
because yeah, it's not the album's fault.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that it for head first?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
All right.
All right.
What's the next one?
Numero dos.
Isn't it time?
Isn't it time?
Big
one
hit.
Of the, one of the best ever.
Big hit. Yes, it is time.
All right, and here it is.
Falling in love was the last thing I had on my mind.
That's Jonathan Cain, I think.
Holding
He's not in the
you is
band
a warmth that I
But just
thought
listen to
I could never
I think that's where he learned it.
Just trying to decide.
This is WKRP, I thought.
There you go. Dr. Genevieve.
The doctor.
Boogie.
I've seen visions of someone like you in my life.
Nice range, you know.
A
Yeah.
love that's strong, reaching out, holding me through the darkest
He's
night.
gonna do something, and it's gonna. I want to talk about it. Oh, maybe in the next verse, but I want to talk about it.
I'll stay by your side. I don't want to cry. I just can't find the answers to the questions that keep going through my mind. Hey, babe,
Good.
Yep. Unless he
Enough
wants
to
to
go,
hear that.
hey.
No,
That's a
no, I
classic.
really don't.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa, what happened there?
Okay. I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's a word thing. It's
Hmm.
it's a me as an English language advocate
Oh.
and speaker. Strength. The word
He says
says strength, not
Really?
strength.
Oh.
Strength.
You really dialed in on that.
And
Wow.
I noticed it every time I heard it.
Is that how they say it in Great
I
Britain?
can't believe
In the
that.
UK?
I can't believe that someone, as the originators of the language, I can't even let them get a pass on it because it's something that I've heard middle schoolers do, and it's bugged me ever since, and it sticks out like a sore thumb in this track every single time for me, and that's a personal. That's
Oh,
just a personal.
Your strength is like my realtor.
Yeah.
That's not a word, folks. Realtor.
Realtor.
So
It's
here's
realtor.
what I think. I think the whole song is like an orchestra.
Sure.
You start out that way, and then you get the little piano, and then you crescendo up and crescendo down, and it's one of my favorites.
And with the horns, it's like
Yes.
it's like Chicago.
Yes,
almost.
it is almost. Yep. It's just it's a good song.
For sure. Yeah, I liked how the first song they introduced, whichever way you listen to it, the deluxe version or not, it starts with a classic rock song, and then the next song immediately is not classic, what you'd expect from a classic rock song, anyways, or from that generation that you're kind of getting with the first song, anyways.
Right.
Where it's like you got a full band, you've got strings and horns, and I'm a sucker for horns. We all know some podcast
yes.
fans
And then
know.
don't forget about the Babettes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's
The vocals
absolutely.
sound
Uh-huh.
great. Both,
Absolutely.
They've
both
been there
lead
forever.
And back. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
loving it. The bass is walking the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
song. It's great. I really like this. I was like, dang, okay, they're pretty good actually.
This was one of those songs back in the day where you would slow dance and make out.
Even
say
during
the
the
beginning.
fast part.
Yeah, just yeah.
You ignore that. Like Stairway to Heaven. Ow.
Yeah. So it was I love that. Love that song. So
Yeah, this is when you listen to all the other songs in the deluxe version, what stands out right away is this is by outside writers.
Oh,
This isn't
sure.
written by the band.
Oh, okay.
And you get the piano, which you don't get on their songs. The
Yeah,
backup
right here.
singers, which you rarely get on their songs, especially the callback back and forth. So
It had some more production behind it than maybe the other stuff.
yeah, some variety
Some
in
variety.
the music. And even these lyrics may not win any awards, but they still might be a tad, a level higher than some of the Babies written songs. So, and of course, this was, I don't know how high it got on the charts, but it was huge in our time.
Yeah, it got pretty big.
So,
Yep.
But I will say, knowing a lot of these other tracks and having gone through them a couple of times, I like the Babies a little bit more when it's a little bit rockier and a little bit has that guitar, because it's still a rock band at the end of the day. which is, well, speaking of Chicago, one of my big issues with that band. But it's their thing and they know how to do it. With a group like this, sometimes, in my listens, I was pining for that guitar driven thing. And there's a little bit of hint at the end of this song during the final chorus with the bow, 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 bow. So there's still that kind of glimmer of it in there. But I was missing it a little bit on this track in particular.
What makes you wonder if there was ever a battle there between the
Sure.
record company and the band? The record company wanting something that would sound like a hit on the radio, and the band wanting to be a rock band.
Right.
And you just wonder, where did these outside songs come from? Did the band find them, or did the record company find
Right,
them?
right.
Be interesting to know, and I do not.
And I don't either.
You came prepared. Nick.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
It's not out there. It's not out there on the web or the dark
Did
web.
you try?
I
Did you
checked
try?
them both.
Oh, okay. Gotta
All
call him down
right.
to find out.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Midnight Rendezvous.
This is another good one.
All right.
This is one of their top hits.
There's Midnight Rendezvous.
Running faster than you want me to. Can't help myself when I'm alone with you. Alright. Alright. I'm past the limit and there's no way back. Your kind of love gives me a heart attack. Alright. Alright. 'Cause baby, can't you see we need to spend some time alone? We need to see some dreams coming true. I wanna feel me touching you. We need a midnight rendezvous. On the freeway with the throttle down, you drive me crazy as we drive around. Alright. All night. The way you look tonight, you aim to please. The dress you're wearing is way past your knees. Alright. Alright. Baby, can't you see?
All right, so this is a classic dance tune for me. I mean, you get the girl out of the dance floor and everything just popping and doing it, and I love the riff. I love the drums. It's just it's one of those songs where you just kind of lay back and say, "Yeah, this is good."
I just realized that lyrically, I'm in high school.
Yeah,
Those are all the lyrics I
Yeah.
would
yeah.
I would
It's a-
begin to
It
understand
is a
anyway.
typical
I mean,
late
yep.
70s, 80s song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the lyrics are about, women and it's all good. It's
Yeah.
a very, very good rhythm.
So would you be listening to the Babies along with Blackfoot, kind of the same time?
Ooh,
Well,
well,
Yeah, well, certainly the hits.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't have the Babies album, but obviously I was very familiar with the songs they played on the radio. So, but I didn't have it in my private collection until later.
how did Blackfoot come out of that?
Well, that was his
That was
first
my
album.
first album in the pod.
Oh, I love Blackfoot. Now that's a band that just, if you like drum playing, that's the band.
That's the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's our bond right
Yeah. God, that was a good.
So you two know each other. Let's get into
Yeah.
there. That's a different pod.
Yeah.
That's a different pod.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You've got to admit, though, of all the cheesy lyrics,
Here we go.
your kind of love gives me a heart attack. Come on, man. I wrote that one down as one that I was
Yeah.
starring like,
Let's
I
have
kind
a-
of like that.
Let's have a midnight rendezvous.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like.
Did you feel they pronounced rendezvous to your
Yeah,
level
that
of
was-
English language?
All the other words were perfect.
Okay. Good. I think this is a pretty good mid-tempo rocker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this being on the radio, so this one was kind of semi new to me,
Yeah.
but pretty decent song. And little behind the scenes fact, this by this time Jonathan Cain has joined the band, and so he co-wrote with the band part of this. Hard to know what part he's responsible
Right,
for,
yeah.
but you just start maybe hearing a little something a little different as he's part of that. So maybe not. You tell me. Did it just sound like a straight ahead baby song, or was there any Jonathan Cain influence yet? I don't know.
I can't help but compare this band to Foreigner, and
Hmm.
in the same kind of driving late '70s, early '80s beat, in the kind of, yes, the cheesy lyrics and that vocal range. He and Lou Gramm have this similar kind of vocal range and a similar sound, so I found myself constantly comparing them to Foreigner the whole time, and maybe that was naive as a listener, but I got to compare it to
Nothing wrong
what
with
I know.
Foreigner. Nothing wrong with Foreigner.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But in that second verse, I wrote, and this goes back to what my first album was on the podcast. I was hearing these keyboard like notes and moments, and I couldn't help but go back to Elvis Costello, and the moments that Steve Naive would have on those records, with the little anything in the background over top, and we heard a little bit of that in the second verse too, and I thought, that's kind of a
Yeah.
nice production touch
Right.
as well.
Absolutely.
But everything goes back to Elvis Costello for you.
In the end,
Oh boy.
Right.
Okay.
in the end, it all goes back to Elvis.
That's for me too, but a different one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally different Elvis.
We're from a different era.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
No, weirdly enough, I wasn't a huge fan of this track. I don't think it's fine listening to, but I wasn't loving it. For me, like the vocal, the lyrics didn't have like a great melody to them. They sounded a little bit like disjointed, especially when I was listening to them for some reason. I mean, it still does sound like that to me. They just don't sound like they have a great melody. Like kind of like there's no like even kind of thing that's going on between like especially when I'm looking at the lyrics and there's a line and then he pauses 2 words before the line's done and then finishes the line and I'm like
Dramatic
okay.
effect.
Yeah, that's a song. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a song, yeah, okay. So I wasn't a huge fan. What I do find funny is the synth that you mentioned, especially after that first chorus and the second verse. It comes in every few beats and just hits the same note every few beats, and I just find it to be so funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this? Beep. Beep. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, let's get that in there.
That's how they write music today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
It's like rap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just sample a little bit and just
Right.
play it over and over.
Right.
And over.
Alright.
Anything else on Midnight Rendezvous?
Good.
All right.
Let's do a little money.
Money.
Little remake action.
Yeah. Who sang this originally?
Ooh. Somebody long before the Beatles.
Yeah.
The best things in life are free, but you can keep them for the birds and bees. Money, that's what I want.
Definitely a Beatles influence there.
Babettes.
Yep.
Babettes.
Money don't get everything, it's true. But what I don't get, baby, I get it from you. Money, that's what I want. That's what I wanted. Oh, yeah, that's what I
Yeah. Jamming.
Absolutely.
Your loving gives me a thrill, but your loving don't pay my bills. Money, that's what I want.
All right, so I'm thinking that this is probably one of those songs at the end of the night they do an encore, and this is one of them. There's no doubt about
I
it.
can see that.
People are all pumped up. They're all ready to party on and
Yeah.
get them up, and
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of rhythm, a lot of
I just want to make sure we credit the original artist,
yes. And who would that be?
Barrett Strong, 1959.
Ooh, I didn't
Okay.
know that.
And then I think it was
Didn't know
covered by Motown artists
So many,
and
Yeah.
so many.
many,
When I'm
many
looking
others.
up the title and
It's a
Genius to
different
get the
version of
lyrics,
it, but it's
the baby's version didn't even show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So many.
This would have to be on the rockin' side of probably what they did.
Yeah.
Because if Motown did it, they'd probably, put some
Sure.
soul on it, some
Yeah.
more horns. But this one definitely rocks. I was hearing, even in that drum part, there's some Zeppelin stuff going on there with the doo-doo-doo-doo. That's a killer. That's just some killer guitar work on that track.
And I think I read somewhere that this was not on one of their albums or something, or just came out.
Yeah, it was.
Was it on? Was it on there?
Yeah. Um, I think this is on Union Jacks. Nope. Wrong. I saw it. I swore I did. Need my glasses.
Jeez.
Maybe not.
I
Oh,
don't-
there it is. Head
was it
first.
Head first.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on head
All right.
first.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
little kick-ass one there.
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
kick-ass.
absolutely.
So,
It did sound kind of true to the Beatles version,
Yeah.
although I think that's fairly true to the Barrett Strong version.
Sure.
It's not too different. Yeah, I give it a listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too different.
I think it's a great version. It's nice. It's
Mhm.
well done. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, John sounds great. I didn't recognize the track before listening to this. I didn't know that it was
What
a
it was
different
gonna
song.
be. Yeah.
I didn't even know like it was a cover until I looked it
I
up.
didn't
I
either.
didn't know that the Beatles had done it or
Oh,
anything like
oh,
that
okay.
before researching it. And then I saw
I failed as a
so many,
parent.
so many people had covered this. I know.
so disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know all the Beatles songs except the songs that they covered.
Yeah.
Well, shame on me.
Just let it be, man. Okay?
Yeah,
Fine, fine,
it's
fine.
crazy the amount of people that were covering
Yeah.
this. Like usually you don't see that many. There was like over 10,
Yeah.
especially having a recorded version of it.
Who did that Money song? Was that Man for Man?
Pink
Who
Floyd?
was it? There was another one too, though. Anyway,
Oh, there's probably.
there's lots of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the track that I can see Woody with the long hair
Oh,
driving down the
baby.
freeway in the topless convertible, just all the way down. This is the song I see.
Concert
hey.
echo on the way home after the show.
There you go.
Say, give me some money, honey.
I found it a little weird though for an anthology album that they're having a cover song on it though. I don't.
If
You
that
know,
doesn't
that's- yeah.
speak to my point about the deluxe version,
Yeah.
what does?
Because I mean, I would assume, not having delved into the babies, if I'm wrong, please, correct me. But like, from what I'm hearing, the songs that they wrote can kind of seem kind of similar sounding to where the point where if you have an anthology album, you're gonna want stuff that like the second song. What is it? I already
So
lost
here's
it. Isn't
who-
It Time?
Who's
Written
who
by
they
somebody
have
else,
sang it?
and then this cover.
Barry Gordy
Barry
wrote it.
Gordy wrote it.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
that's something just to think of. But it makes for a much better album, I think, to have that differences. But it's just interesting for an anthology album to have a cover
Yeah.
song on it.
Agreed.
And I'd submit early that this might be a good contender for something that we choose. To me, this is the baby's sound. It has that more rockin' edge.
No shot.
Versus
You're out
their-
of control.
No
Versus
shot.
their-
No
I'm
shot
telling
you're
you.
putting a
It
cover
has
out
been
there.
so long since you did a podcast. You have lost your way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh. All right.
Let's get back on our feet again, shall we?
Okay.
All right,
Yes,
There you go.
good idea.
Track number 5.
All right.
Back on
I
my
need to
feet.
get back on my feet after that one.
Yeah, come on. What were you thinking?
I was so lonely until I met you. Told myself I'd get by without love. Drowning my sorrows, avoiding tomorrows. Kinda felt that I just had enough. You lie on my face with your jokes and your smiles, and the way that you came every night. Don't know what you got, but I'm sure that I found you. Could be wrong, but it sure feels right. And here I am, I'm back on my feet again.
Blooded. Surprised at myself for the way that I feel. So happy that you're here with me.
So every blood has left me with nothing, but I guess
Where's the same synth heard?
What's that?
Doing that again?
Yeah, the crank, crank.
It worked last time. What the hell?
No, but what song starts like that?
Jump.
It is Jump. It
Hey,
is
that
Jump.
Halem?
It is Jump. It is Jump.
Well, they took it from him.
Hey, these guys are underrated.
Right. And they always have been, I think.
Alright.
So this song is about, obviously, a breakup to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just one of those breakup
Yeah.
songs that kind of put in the back of your mind. And
That's funny
For-
you say that
yeah.
because I didn't, other than seeing kind of how lame some of the lyrics were,
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I a lot of times one of my favorite deals on the podcast is I like examining the lyrics and finding the meaning,
Yeah.
or at least my meaning,
Yeah.
in them. And I kind of threw that out after having so many of the non-real anthology songs. Wading through those, I kind of gave up. But to me, this is what the Babies could have been. This song was written by John Waite
Mhm.
and outside people, not the band, as opposed to the other hit songs, which were all outside people. So this is a third kind of version of song in this anthology. And I'm not sure, and now it's just kind of a running thing for me, that as I heard these lyrics, I thought, here's how this probably went down, because there's the two co-writers and then John. And so for me, I kind of wrote down what I envisioned. I thought the co-writers start with the lines, I was so lonely until I met you, told myself I'd get by without love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got back on my feet again.
Then John says, I got it. Drowning my sorrows, avoiding tomorrows.
Nice.
And they said, John,
You did
more
it.
Coke.
Co-writers, what are you going to say? He's
Yeah.
the singer in the band. Ugh, but they keep going. And then they write, kind of felt that I just had enough. You light up my face with your jokes and your smiles.
And the way that you came here tonight. Not every night.
Don't.
I
Yeah.
swear it's every night. I swear it's every night. I heard it. I heard it every time. I was looking
That
at the lyrics,
changes
like,
everything
Yeah.
now. I
Make
gotta
a note of
rewrite.
that.
I
Make a
gotta
note of
read-
that.
Yes.
It goes on, don't know what you got, but I'm sure glad I found you. And then John pipes in. Could be wrong, but it sure feels right. And so it goes throughout the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how I am envisioning the songwriting with John. But I could be
So
all
you think John is dumb as bricks?
I'm saying I don't think he's a lyricist.
Oh, okay.
He's a hell of a vocalist.
Sure, sure.
And he doesn't need to be a lyricist. Leave it
He
to somebody else.
He wrote most of these songs, he said, on a whim.
Obviously.
Especially Missing You.
Oh,
He said,
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of 2 hours. He just kind of sat down and played a G and an A and just, okay, started doing lyrics, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like came
Yeah.
out. So
Okay.
Tell me one word other than Missing You that is in that song.
Missing you is 2 words.
Yeah, I'm saying
Oh,
tell me
other
one
than-
more word of beyond those two.
I have no idea.
I can think of 2. I ain't.
Well, okay. Got it. Good exercise.
Did that make it to number 1? It did,
Missing
didn't it?
You? I don't know.
I think it
I'm
did.
sure it was top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it may have. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of this song right up until the baseball stadium organ hits. And then I'm like, come on, dude. Can we not have picked like a different piano sound to do this or a different instrument to play that part? Like, it was like, come on, get that out of there.
Seventh inning
And
stretch.
it goes away, I'm like, luckily enough, but then it comes back for the next chorus. And I'm just like, jeez, it makes it so goofy. But I do like the sound of it, but then I'm like, it's the baseball organ. And it's
You know,
just, come on.
it's the 80s. If you look at the first Star Wars, they look goofy too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Big
It's the
time.
baseball version of Hot Blooded, okay?
It's ball first. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
You got anything else?
I got nothing
Okay.
on this one.
Well,
Gimme.
great track.
Yep.
And this one, you just don't hear on classic
Give Me Your
rock
Love?
hardly. No, Back on My
Oh,
Feet
Back on My Feet.
Again.
No, you
They
don't.
do the other two, but the other two big ones.
It's a hook. I gotta tell you, the chorus will get stuck in your head, and it got stuck in my head a few times.
Yeah.
It's not without hook.
Very good.
Now that you hear there's a baseball organ,
Yeah.
Now we'll think about it all the
you
time.
think about it.
Yeah.
And you think,
Yeah.
"Come on, goofy." All right, give me your love.
Give me your love.
This is maybe one of those things where you just kind of touch it.
Yeah,
make
just
the sound.
It's Operation. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. Like, wasn't it hooked with the stylus and you can touch it?
Yeah. Tweezers.
Yeah, I was thinking there's a musical instrument though that kind of does that, but with the stylus, you know. They like you can like it makes sounds.
I'm sure
depending
John
on,
was like, "Whoa, we'll throw this."
Yeah. Where I thought it was like, I don't know, it looks like maybe kind of like a etch-a-sketch kind of thing with the stylus, and then like if you like you're drawing high, then it's like a higher like.
The theremin?
Is that with your fingers though? Yeah, but I thought there was one with a stylus that you could like touch on a pad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just. John had to have voted.
I got a song idea.
I mean, still, great song for the
Yeah.
back seat of a car.
Right. Yeah. Now it goes into a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it builds.
Yeah, then it starts building the building. And it's just a typical baby song, though, I think. It's just, kind of all in that same genre, just got a guitar riffs and stuff. And
This is what you
It's-
thought before we said it.
love the drums. Love the drums. Tony Brock.
Tony Brock,
Tony
the drummer.
Brock. Shout out to Tony.
Great slow groove,
Yep,
though.
yep.
That is tremendous.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think the song sounds great if only it had better lyrics, then it'd be a better song.
Well, I crossed out a lot of things I said about the lyrics now because I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Oh,
But,
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought.
So you liked them then?
yeah. And what I'm saying is, if the four of us took 15 minutes right now, we could write incredible lyrics compared to that song.
Oh, where my mind goes?
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a little
I'll be up there with the
innuendo.
Sex Pistols
There'd
and
be-
Ozzy Osbourne.
But yes, the sugar pie.
Yeah, it's
That
just-
was a little much for the 80s even. I mean, Sugar Pie left in the 60s
I
with
know.
Motown. I mean, come on.
Honey bun.
Yeah, exactly.
He just got through with love with his voice. His voice was just
Oh, no
Incredible.
question. No question.
incredible.
And the music, I love the music on that track though.
I do too.
I
That
dig it.
guitar
I
solo.
dig
is
it.
Yeah. Dee, dee,
Fantastic.
dee, 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 dee.
Fantastic guitar with the screeching. I love that.
I'm grooving to this track.
Yes. And John, again, if you don't concentrate on what the lyrics are, I mean, I got no problem with
Yeah.
his phrasing and everything
No.
and how,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's a little hard to not focus on it when you got the lyrics right in front of you.
yes. When we're doing this exercise,
Yeah.
it takes away sometimes from enjoying the song
This dude said
because,
the same thing 10 times in a row.
yeah, right. And you just go, huh?
Speaking of the drums, and speaking
Yes.
of Tony, some great fills, especially at the end of the
Yep.
song. that I just wanted to point out and give a shout out. It's
Yeah.
just he's a great drummer.
Yeah.
This is a good track for him.
After
too.
that, he went to Rod Stewart
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for years.
Okay.
for years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Toured with Rod.
You know?
No.
Oh. You say his name like you know.
Rod.
He knows everybody. You and Rod tight?
I mean, Rod
Yeah.
is a classic rock artist, so I'm
You guys
first
get
name
drinks on
basis with a
occasion?
lot
This
of
is true.
these guys.
This
You
is
guys hang
true.
out once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, just in my mind.
Oh, right.
We're-
So when
You're a
you
little
wrote Maggie
parasocial.
Man,
You're a little parasocial about it.
Becky.
What social?
Parasocial?
Parasocial?
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what that means, but probably.
It's like people getting too obsessed with like celebrities' lives and
Well, I'm not
nothing
obsessed
to
with
do with them.
celebrities.
Or you know. But with
I don't
Rod, it seems
Just
like
Rod.
maybe, yeah.
Just Rod?
No.
You're a parasocial with Rod, or?
No, if I saw Rod,
I'd say, hey, Rod, what up?
I'm like, there's Rod Stewart. Or I might just say, there's Rod. But I'm not going to go up to him and want his autograph or something.
Yeah, but you
stupid.
met some pretty
I'm not going to hassle him.
rockers
I'm
in
not
your
a
day,
celeb,
haven't you?
You know, like, huh? I've met a lot. Yeah, and that's
Like,
part of the reason why I
Name
would,
one right now.
wouldn't do it.
name drop.
Name drop. One
Name
now.
drop.
Name
who
one
what?
rocker.
Yeah.
Anyone.
One.
Sammy Hagar.
No, not Sammy.
You can't think of one.
Dokken.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just say one.
Aerosmith.
Okay. That seems like more than one guy.
Steve
That's-
Tyler.
okay,
Steven
there you go.
Tyler.
Steve.
How about
Steve Tyler?
Not Steve Perry.
Steve.
Yeah, me and Steve.
Mick Jagger.
There you go.
I've met Mick Jagger. I've met
Billy Idol.
for sure. Yeah, you've seen picture proof of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Many
That's
others.
cool.
All right. Anyways,
We digress.
What are we? Next song or is that
Turn.
that was
I
all
think
It's
so.
that?
turn.
Turn and walk away.
Turn and walk away.
Here we go.
You know who that is.
Back to your instrument.
That's a keyboard. That one was like.
Well, he's not Elton John, but he'll get there.
That's it.
He didn't need to be in
No,
Journey.
right.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me anymore. I've no more tears to cry. Walk away. Gonna do my best to start again. Walk away. I'm gonna turn the lights on low and walk away. Captivated by you, I'm reaching for your love. Living in your shadow, but that was not enough. You don't seem to care about the reasons that I give. We'll both fall in love again. Survivors always live. Walk away.
I like it. Too much piano for me.
Hmm.
Too much little keyboards on that one.
It was
Yeah.
very up in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, it just never went.
Right.
Okay, but
Yep.
nobody noticed the baseball
It
organ.
never moved.
No.
No, I just noticed this one.
Okay. I see how it is.
And I can't get away from
Yeah.
you're as
Ice
cold
What
as
was
ice.
that?
Yeah.
Was that 3, 4 notes? How many notes did we have there? I mean, total.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
Not
counting
many.
the whole chord.
Yeah.
but
yeah, how many chords? Two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right. That's more appropriate. But
But at the end of the song, turn around, turn and walk. Let's see it like 3 times only through this whole song.
mhm.
Just turn around, turn and walk away. That was the best part of the song for me. That whole little melody.
Little-
Those
Yeah.
harmonies
Yeah.
on the chorus are murderous. Whoever's right behind John on that vocal is really getting up there, and I dig it every time.
I think this, I imagine this, and Jonathan Cain co-wrote this. He was part
For
of the
himself,
band.
probably.
And I just feel like I'm just convinced that this is among his first attempts. And, you know, the keyboard is a little simplistic, but that's got the makings, the beginnings of a nice power ballad. And as he grows as an artist, with Journey, you
Yeah.
can hear that
Yeah.
being.
Here, open
What would
arms
be
and
This
that.
is
interesting
him.
to
Oh, you're gonna
see
hear open arms
what
and
Journey
stuff.
song,
Separate ways, a little bit separate ways.
see if a Journey song kind of starts out like that,
Sure.
and then
Yeah, and then it built, and then it rocks or
not
whatever.
Stone in
but,
Love.
But
No.
yeah, but it just feels like, true or not, that's what it feels like to me. This is the impetus of what is going to be the Jonathan Cain sound
And I have
eventually.
to, you can cut the band some slack too, because I think if you look at it from that perspective, like these are all still young songwriters,
Mhm.
and what they end up becoming, it's kind of interesting. It's like finding
No, you
out.
can't.
Oh, wow, okay.
They put it on vinyl. It's a permanent record.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true.
This is the 2000 remastered version. Come on, go back and grow a pair. Rewrite the song a little bit, work it around. No. I think it's good. My favorite part is the little guitar riff into the verses.
Yes.
That's what I dig. Overall, though, it's decent. Like you said.
I think my first note encompasses most of it. I said hooky but forgettable.
Yeah. Kind of reformulate, kind of the baby sound. All right. Every time I think of you.
Good
there
one.
we go.
There
Yes,
we're
now we're
talking.
talking.
Another piano entree.
Every time I think of you, it always turns out good. Every
What's the
time
Journey
I
song?
held you, I thought you understood.
Faithfully open
That was
arms.
Babe.
just-
Maybe.
No,
just thinking of-
Sticks, Babe.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Wrong band. Is it not?
Yeah.
The beginning of Babe.
You play?
how our love should grow.
Is there a different writer on this? Someone else like this?
Yeah.
It's the same songwriters that did
The second one?
Isn't it time? Yep.
They're good. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And the songs are similar in many ways.
Yes.
It's like, why didn't you have these guys write all your songs?
I want-
That'd be
I
too
want-
much.
I want this for Vault pretty bad, but it's not necessarily the babies anymore. But I do want it for the Vault pretty
Sure.
bad.
This is. I'd be willing to give up money.
I'm with you.
I know. The premise of you picking Baby and what the Vault is, if all of the songs in the world were gone and you had to pick one song from the opposite the same, and you picked a cover song for the Baby, it's so funny. Is that a wreath on the Baby? What's going on?
No, not quite.
Well, you get a little bit.
That was George Benson.
George Benson, yeah.
He's the composer, dude.
But I know a love like ours will last and last. But baby, I was wrong about knowing how our love should go.
God, that's a good tune.
Dude.
Yeah, it's got everything in it there.
It's
huh?
a monster,
Woo, baby.
That's a good one.
Vault alert.
So I was reading some of the remarks earlier, and
Mhm.
every time I think of you came on there, and there were like 5 or 6 when said that they sang this song to their kid, and it's just one of their songs that they remember
Oh,
from her.
that's cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's just
It's a good one to remember.
yeah,
I
it's
think.
Shout out to the backup singer,
Babette.
And the co-writers.
Myrna Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
Myrna Matthews. Don't know Myrna?
Myrna, there's another one too. What is her?
Don't know Myrna about her, but
But
Close.
but she is awesome.
So you got
she's great.
Lisa Freeman, Roberts, Pat Henderson, and Myrna Matthews.
There you go.
Mm.
And this is Myrna Matthews and Diana Lee.
Okay, but that's tremendous. And I mean, I can't imagine that vocal. Anybody doing that vocal
No.
better.
No,
That
that was spot on there.
If that's not his best vocal,
Yeah.
I don't know what it would
I
be.
agree.
It was tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
What a beautiful build in that song too. To start out slow with here, the piano feels appropriate,
Mm-hmm.
feels good. The strings feel appropriate, and there's no horns. But nevertheless, still a great track.
You're a horn guy.
He's the horn
I'm-
guy.
I like
guy.
I like the horns too.
Yeah.
I like Chicago because
Yeah,
of
you should
that.
check out the Chicago then.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good. But yeah, the only thing I would change is the outro. It fades, and I think that's doing it a little bit injustice because it's the big moment.
Yeah,
it's
it is,
fading.
yes.
So just hit him with
I can
the
see that.
every time I think of you,
That-
and then boom,
That
that's
shows
it.
his
Hit him
range
down.
though,
Yes,
all the way up and down. His chops are awesome.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
just want
background.
that one final.
Yeah.
hit
Oh,
of that
yeah, I
chord,
could
that
totally-
line.
I
Yeah.
can totally
Yeah, I can see that.
That guitar solo is just
Yeah.
marvelously good, and what a versatile lead guitarist too. Because we go from a track like Money, where it's screeching and loud, to something a little bit more subdued and laid back.
Yeah.
Really versatile performer.
I agree.
I'm a sucker for the whole backup singer,
Singers, yeah.
then the vocalist, the back and forth.
Like Meatloaf.
Oh,
Not, well, I'm not sure about that level. In the right mood, you bet.
Sure.
And in small doses, sure.
yeah.
But done right, like it is on this song, it's that's goosebump time for me.
Sure.
I'm like, dang, that
You got
is
him right now,
good.
or you just called?
Oh, I might be cold.
Yeah.
Maybe
Put
it
your
wasn't the
sweatshirt on,
song.
You're always cold though.
It wasn't the lyrics or the singing at all. No.
Just doesn't have his
That'll be
jacket.
the spin-off show. Is it Goosebumps or The Chill in the Air?
Yeah.
But great track, awesome.
Yeah.
My vote for the vault.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely
For sure.
contender.
Surely.
Okay.
All right, number 9. If you've got the time, right? Before we get to this, I do want you to listen to something, because I think it's such a massive oversight, not necessarily on the baby, but on whoever remastered this song, because here, pretty soon, he says yeah, and it just gets cut off, and it's the most bizarre. I've never heard that. I've never heard that in any recorded song. No, like, like, he didn't cut off, like, it was, like, cut in the recording.
There's another thing. I think it's Midnight Rendezvous. That's the end of the song.
Yeah.
I listened to it. I think it's that one that they cut it. I'm going to listen to that one again. I think it's that one at the end.
Maybe it was Rendezvous. Maybe I got it in the wrong song, but yeah, it happened. And I was like, that seems like a huge oversight for a remaster. Like, do remasters take that long? That like, you cut out yeah at the wrong time. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, come on.
Oops.
But anyways, if you
What'd you think of that song, Marco?
I don't have a lot to
I didn't
say
have
about that
a
song.
lot either on that one. It's just
It's a, kind of a mid-tempo.
yeah.
It definitely is
Little
baby.
guitar
Does
riff
the
in
baby
there,
sound
so.
really John Waite? I mean,
I don't think so.
Now my
I mean,
question
there
is
is-
this:
yeah,
Who else sang lead beside John on any of these songs? Anybody?
no,
I don't think so.
I don't
Okay.
believe so.
I thought I saw something on the Wikipedia that's like 6 and 10 on the track list. There was a different lead artist, a lead singer, but I might be wrong. Maybe I just read that wrong.
I don't know.
Shout out to our drummer again.
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
I
And the
love
guitar.
that cymbal work.
Yeah.
The ding 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 ding.
I don't know if you've given the guitarist enough.
Yeah,
The
true,
solos
true,
in a lot of
true.
the songs
Yes,
have been
have
great.
been
And he's
stellar.
been killing it. And at the beginning of this song, you hear his fingers move on the strings, which I feel like you don't hear a lot, or you miss a lot in songs,
Right.
especially recently.
Some of those
You can
80s
hear that.
80s bands you could hear that too. Some of those
Is
hair balls and Hair Nation.
speaking of your point on the production and how does somebody miss that remastering and whatever. Is part of the issue here? I mean, we were used to what the sounds were like in the 80s, but does anybody else think it sounds a little muddy?
Yeah, I think it can,
Yeah.
depending on like, especially when not so much here. And here I hear a lot more of like the bass and stuff that I wasn't hearing on the headphones. So sometimes you have to
Headphones
switch up
big,
a way,
yeah.
especially even just Tyson headphones. But like I wasn't hearing like the bass like at all in a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, do these guys have bass? Like, what's going on? Because I don't want to be like, there's no bass in the song, and then Kel being like, what are you talking about? I love the bass here. And I'm like, what did I miss?
Well, my good buddy Rick Beato, Rick.
Oh sure.
Anybody here knows Rick Beato?
I do. He's massive.
Yeah, I mean, if you are seriously, if we were seriously listening to do this pod, you should listen to the track every time in headphones.
Yes.
I mean, that's how you really should
Yeah.
experience
Like
it each time.
headphones,
yeah.
Yes. So because you miss subtleties and you miss a lot. So
Yeah.
It's
So
cool
my-
that you
I-
know
I-
him. He's
Rick and I go back.
Who's Rick?
Yeah,
he's-
Rick Beato.
He's massive.
Isn't it on a parasocial thing
I
that you're
don't
making a
know,
joke of
Rick.
now?
I don't know.
You don't
But
know.
I watch his
Him and
stuff.
Axl Rose.
I
Yeah.
watch his stuff religiously.
Yeah, I bet.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Rick, look him up.
Yeah, we all need pairs of audiophile headphones so we can actually hear
Yes.
bass and
Yeah,
differences
good
and stuff.
gift idea for me.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm serious.
My birthday was very recently. I would not be offended.
For a later for an extension.
So those are the best headphones to get.
You can find it. There's some cheap ones out there too. Well, cheaper ones that
That are still good.
Still good.
Yeah.
I'm on those audiophile websites. I'm looking.
But as far as me and my experience with the baby, so this was number 1 on the track list for the deluxe version. So this was actually my intro to the baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was liking this song. I was digging.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, these guys are pretty good. Like, I'm liking it. This was like before there was like that traditional like baby sound. It was like, oh, this is
Well,
how
you've
baby
heard of
sounds.
these guys beforehand, though.
No,
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 not at all.
Not one.
Oh,
Me either.
I'm
okay.
like, who are baby?
They're not on Rock Band
Oh
Yeah.
my.
or Guitar Hero.
No,
Sorry.
no, they're not. But so I was loving it. The finger slide, I think I heard, but I was a big fan. I think if I were to pick, I think between my 2 vault songs, which I don't know if you know what we're talking about yet, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Is if we're doing like the baby sound traditionally, kind of traditional rock. This is what I'm going for. This is my vote for that one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Every time I think of you.
every time I think of you.
Gotcha.
What is my other one?
Well, you haven't heard Sweet 17 yet.
Well, no, I have.
Well.
I have.
Well, let's play it and see what's going on.
All right, yeah. Does anyone else have anything else to say about
Oh.
if you've got time?
Sorry.
No.
All right, see something. Here we go.
Here you go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, that's what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I have it on my picture in my head.
Why 15, 16, 17? That's
Well,
just weird.
that's the progression.
Oh,
in age.
well, I know that. But
Okay.
And
they
numbers.
can't be talking about that stuff with a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just not right, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean,
That
you
was
could say
my
it was a different time, but
yeah.
it definitely did not age well.
Damn.
But look, way before, this is the exact same stuff. This was way before
Age of
Winger.
consent.
I was just
She's
going to say
only
Winger, she's only 17.
Age of
Warrant,
consent
Cherry Pie.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah. This
same.
was way before that, though.
Way before
Yeah.
that. I mean, these guys.
can't believe you
Yeah, but
called
Cherry Pie
Pie.
doesn't specify an age
Oh.
that is under 18 as well.
Well, Winger
And
does.
Even,
Let me
even
say
to go
this.
far as to
She
say
was
15.
just 17.
Yeah.
She's
You know what
only
I
she was
mean.
just 17. You know what I mean?
Let me say one thing.
She's old enough to
Yeah,
go. Oh, anyway.
Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean,
Yes.
Oh,
for
so
God's sake.
Yeah, but no
this is
one-
rock and roll, man.
Yeah, but
Eh, To the Babies' credit, well, maybe because they're a young band, they haven't got to drugs and rock and roll yet. But the sex part they talk about on
Yeah,
every
that's-
song. They got that part down.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
yeah.
But it's a decent rocker.
Yeah, for
It's got-
sure.
yeah,
It sounds
it's-
fine. And if you're in high school and that age, being a minor, then yeah, great song.
And yeah,
Sounds like a prom song.
Yeah.
and you
Homecoming
really,
song.
Like, it was definitely a homecoming song.
and there's really nothing they're gonna do to you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're all
The
underage.
I would say the difference between, and I don't know a lot of Jerry Lee Lewis, but what I do know is, I don't know if he specified an age in any of his songs, but
Not
just
even in
knowing,
life.
knowing his background puts it in context. But these guys say 15, 16, 17. And it's like, okay, 17's close, not quite there, bud.
Maybe
But
they're talking about the size of
the
the rims on
past.
their cars.
yeah, sure.
Maybe they're
Come
thinking
on.
of the past.
Mm.
You know, the summer of '69.
Yeah, I'm a.
Oh God, Brian, Brian, come on, man.
Uh,
Why does it have to be 69?
I thought. I mean, there's some solid guitar on there.
Yeah, I liked it.
The
Yeah.
vocals are good.
It drives.
The chorus sucks, I thought, but other than that. But yeah, typical jock rock stuff. I mean, yeah, if you want to make fun of all that, there's a lot to make fun of.
You could make
Right?
fun of every album probably if you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but no, it
But it was, yeah.
it was a
it's funny.
rock anthem.
Yeah, yeah. I have nothing against the sound of the song. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
can I listen to this now? When,
Yeah, I hear
we've
you.
grown up, right?
This is
Well-
where the generations.
Yeah,
really
but you
start
got to
to-
remember,
Well,
back
yeah.
then we were listening to it. We were 17.
Yeah, that's not. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So
That's what I'm saying.
For me, I mean, it's not fair as you grow older and the song's subject matter doesn't move and the age doesn't move.
Sure.
So when you see me singing, screaming along to Cherry Pie, yeah, people are creeped out. But that's not fair because at the time,
Well, again, does Cherry Pie specify that they're underage?
Your Honor.
well, the
what if they would have
definition of
said
cherry
rhubarb
pie
pie?
indicates
I mean, what's the difference? It's like-
indicates that they're young.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Well, you see
Because-
this. Yeah, I don't even want to.
The definition. Do we need to get that into that on the podcast?
A good vocal song.
Could you
too.
do that, Kale?
Do what?
Could you walk us through cherry pie?
I will. We'll do that on the extras for this episode.
Are you
I'll
pulling
walk
out
through
Warren?
Cherry Pie. This is a good vocal song, though. I will admit, when he goes "Sweet 17," that's a goosebump.
It does remind me of Winger though, a little bit. Yeah.
Kip.
Kip
He's a
and the
good
boys.
friend of mine.
Yeah.
Kip.
All right, well, let's.
That wraps that
That's
up.
good. Good job,
that's
guys.
10 tracks, baby.
Excellent
That's right.
day. I want to hear Midnight Rendezvous again, maybe
Oh,
later.
let's do-
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
just
we'll do that.
hear the end of it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
See if they play that line that I'm thinking of.
So Jack for sure
Yes.
was not exposed to the Babies before.
That's what he said.
So everybody's kind of one at a time overall
Sure.
reaction on Anthology.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was pretty decent. As far as like my rating goes, it's me. I only do whole, as a refresher. I only do whole numbers, 1 through 5. I guess 0 if something's really bad. And I'm pretty picky.
Would that be no music at all?
Yeah. This is. I don't
533
even
by John
deem this
Cage.
as, so Grinder Man might be pretty close.
Maybe like John Denver.
John Denver.
Yeah, Grinder Man might be pretty closest to 0 I've ever given out. But.
It's cold, isn't it?
Just hating on Nick. Leave Nick
I'm not
alone.
hating on Nick. I'm hating on Grinder Man, and I would, from my standards, I think those are 2 different people. And
Yes.
are you gonna say that
It's a
that's
persona.
not right?
Fair.
Yeah.
It's persona.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give No Pussy Blues a 3.
Oh god.
But the rest of that maybe it's closer to 0. Well, I thought it was all right. I mean, it's not essentially like what I'm looking for right now, and I think my ratings are always kind of up for further being updated as time goes on, depending on like the mood that I'm in. I think it's kind of ever flowing, but like right now, Babies are probably at like a 2, maybe close to a 3 for me.
I made a big mistake when I listened to this because I read before I listened, and that I think was the biggest mistake. I read late 70s, early 80s, and I already categorized this band. And in that context,
there were a lot of good bands back then.
There were. This is true.
Yes.
And they lived up to that era, certainly. And I think it's unfair to criticize it from the perspective of has it lived up to now, because of course it hasn't. However, first introduction to the Babies, an anthology album I think was appropriate.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much so.
Yes.
Yeah, great pick.
And a good pick. And one of those bands that I may even go back to. I mean, Every Time I Think of You is a really great song that might get added to a few playlists.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, I'm in the 2.7 range, 2.8.
2.8?
2.8, 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea on my rating because I always have to refer to my previous what I rated other things. But the problem with this is when that was the music you grew up with, it's different.
100%.
Just like my Star Wars analogy.
Sure.
When we were growing up and they didn't have the special effects, and Star Wars was the cutting edge of those special effects, it was pretty cool. You seeing all these other things with much better special effects and go back and look at that and go, what a hokey thing that was. And that can happen with music a little bit.
Yeah.
And can happen with a band like this. But the best songs from the Babies certainly hold up to the best songs of the bigger bands of its time, like Foreigner. Now, the depth doesn't, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
But their best effort is right there.
And I agree with that. I think if they would have had a different name, they would have gone farther. I really do.
Yeah.
It's not the best name.
But here's what I read why they came up with the Babies. They were trying to get at that time. They were trying to get on the airwaves, and they were the radio stations wanted to have all these teams or so they didn't want to go hard rock. So I said, let's just throw the Babies out and do some stuff, and it kind of stuck. And they said, hey, we got this band called the Babies, and they're playing this kind of stuff, and it just kind of steamrolled. So they just kept the name.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, there are band names that are bands that
if they would have different names, it probably would have went
you can't remember their name hardly. So it worked to a degree. So.
Yeah. No, it was my era. So thank you guys for letting me be part of this.
Yeah.
Well, we still got one more thing before we get this off. We're missing the vault song, right?
What we got to do?
This has to be a unanimous vote.
Okay.
So this is in a situation where all the songs on like Earth somehow
that's a lot.
Get wiped out, and on right now you have a chance to pick one album or one song from this album to save, to put in the vault to save for what's going on further, and it has to be unanimous. So you might have to make some concessions here.
So this
we-
represents, this album.
This album.
Just out of this, we just listened to. We have to pick one
Just
out of
what we
these.
listened to. Yep.
Yep.
So
Going in the
I've already
vault.
mentioned what my 2 votes are. If we're going for the honest to God, typical, the baby sound without like much co-writing or whatever, it's what is it already?
You said it was Every Time I Think of You, or
Every Time I Think of You is if it's not, if it, we're adding in the co-writers, but if it's very valuable to have that classic babies, no co-writers, no anything else. It's if you've got the time for me.
ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, but if you think differently, put your opinion out there. You got to make concessions.
I like most of them.
Mhm.
Probably the worst one, not the worst one, but Give Me Your Love, not a big fan.
Yeah, no.
Head First was pretty good, but my 3 favorites is I like Midnight Rendezvous,
Okay.
and I like Every Time I Think of You,
Okay.
and Turn and Walk Away.
Mhm.
All right, so those are my 3.
What are you 2 thinking?
Well, I would be very pleased with Every Time I Think of You.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's the one that to me sticks out the most. Almost head and shoulders above the rest. A close second for me though would be Isn't It Time?
Mm-hmm.
And those would be my 2.
Okay.
Those would be my 2 as well.
Yeah. I could go for so. What we've got unanimously. Every Time I Think of You, unanimously. That's on
correct.
there. That is there. So we could just go with that. If it's do you feel it's important to have that classic? Would you make the concession of doing Isn't It Time?
But Every Time I Think of You wasn't written by them.
That's
Does that matter?
precisely the point.
Doesn't bother me in the
matter,
least.
man.
Okay.
Doesn't bother me
It
in the
doesn't
least.
matter.
I don't
to
think
you.
so. I don't.
Okay. Every Time I Think of You, lock in the vote.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Good.
There it is. All right. That is that has been Passing Notes. Thank you guys for listening.
Awesome.
We
Thank
gotta figure out
What
what we're
about-
doing next week.
Yes.
I've got 2 in the chamber.
She's got 2 in
Ooh.
the chamber. We have to decide
No gun
whether
references this week,
Okay.
for God's sake.
Yeah.
Please.
we've
Can we
got
play
some-
Midnight
I am a rich
Rendezvous
Texan
again?
after
Yeah,
all.
we will. We're gonna.
Oh, after we're done here,
We're gonna
yeah.
end it real quick. We have to make a decision if we want to do. It would just be us 3. If one of us picked an album, it would just be one of us 3.
Yes.
Or if we're still waiting, we want to wait on it a little bit, see where Bart is. We can do.
Where's Bart tonight?
He's out.
Yeah, he's busy.
He's doing his thing.
He'd have to
Doing
drive
a
4
Bart
hours
thing.
to be.
Oh boy.
I'm sure it was tempting.
We could do some more guests. I know there's quite a few people who are lined up that we could get.
Yes.
So whatever we're thinking. So
Mhm.
we'll figure it out. It might be one of Cal's picks depending on what people's schedules look like next week.
Sure.
He's got 2 ready.
He does have 2 in the chamber.
How about this?
I'm
How
leaving it
about
up to a coin toss.
how about it's Kale's turn.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he can decide whether he waits for his choices
Okay.
till Bart's back,
Okay.
or if he wants to have a guest, in-person guest, or pass to whoever else has a guest,
Yeah.
and just let you decide that way, and you can decide now or just take time and let us know.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah,
got it
that's
right now,
good. Yeah.
it's fine. If you're itching to get something out there, we'll get it
Yeah.
out. If not, otherwise, thank you guys for listening to Passing Notes podcast. Yeah. see
Thank you.
Sayonara.
See you next time.